So disclaimer, I have yet to actually play anything related to Street Fighter 6 because mostly I wanted to go into the game as fresh as humanly possible. I kind of wanted to see, what this game would be like. And before I even I pre-ordered it, I'm waiting for it to get here, but I'm hyped. I've never been hyped for Street Fighter in such a long time, right? My history with Street Fighter goes all the way back to Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo, specifically the Turbo Fighting version. And that was pretty much the first fighting game I've ever, played. I've had other ones like Brutal Paws of Fury for that system, which, now it wasn't really good, but also Mortal Kombat. But Street Fighter was the one that I kept going back to the most because it felt like, the easiest one I could probably grasp, even though I had no idea what I was doing. It took me years to learn how to do Hadouken. I just did not know. But again, 2 was a really favorite game of mine. There was Street Fighter 3, which I didn't own. I never owned Street Fighter 3, but I have played it. Really underrated game. I'm surprised that I'm actually not really surprised, but I'm kind of glad that Street Fighter 3 kind of got its resurgence back, because definitely I know a lot of people back in the day hated that game, but it's nice to see that people finally appreciate the game for what it was trying to accomplish. Then there was Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 being the game that kind of brought fighting games back, I guess, because right during that time, fighting games were really kind of like in a lull period, and then when 4 came out, just everything exploded. A bunch of new fighting games were coming out around that time, and online play was more of a factor this time, so people could play online with each other, and it was insane. Street Fighter 4 was the hypest, not even just for itself, but more of every other fighting game. That's when BlazBlue came out, and I love BlazBlue. I love that series to death. So yeah, insane. Then there was all the versions of Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4 and Ultra Street Fighter 4. And I kept up all those versions. Never really, felt too hyped about either of those versions because Ultra came after Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and that was a game I was really hyped for, and then the game came out meh to me at that time until they, gave that really good patch that got really good. And they also took characters from Street Fighter Cross Tekken and put them into Ultra Street Fighter 4, like Poison, which is one of my favorite fighting game characters ever. I love Poison. I love me some Poison. And Rolento and Hugo and Elena, I think. So I think it was those 4 characters I got over to Ultra Street Fighter 4. So, none really to hook me in personally with Ultra, but Ultra was really good, and Ultra's still a fun game. It's still a fun game even this time, even though it looks kind of ugly. That's the sad thing about Street Fighter 4. That game looks ugly as sin, but damn, is it fun. Street Fighter 4 looks ugly as shit, but damn, that game's fun. Anyway, then we moved to Street Fighter 5, and Street Fighter 5's launch was terrible. Okay, let me just say something. And this is, obviously everyone has said this already, but Street Fighter 5, the very first version of Street Fighter 5 is complete ass, right? That game came out shit. It had no content, sparse roster. The game was terrible. It was terrible. It was bad. It got better when Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition came out, and then, finally Street Fighter 5 found its footing. But it just took too damn long. That was about the time I was just oh, I'm done with Street Fighter, right? I was just done with 5. I own Championship Edition. I just don't even play it because Street Fighter 5 lost. Street Fighter 5, right? It hurt me so bad. I wasn't even into it, but it just pissed me off as a game. I wasn't even a Street Fighter like that, but it pissed me off so bad. I just kind of just written off Street Fighter at that point, right? It got better, but I just didn't bother playing it no more. So when Street Fighter 6 got announced, I was like, okay, I'm not shocked. Street Fighter 6, whatever. Older Ryu, cool. I've been wanting to see Ryu with a beard for years. Seeing all the classic characters come back, Chun-Li, Ken, yada yada. The staples, Guile, whatever. I was like, okay, whatever. I really wasn't shocked or surprised or anything like that. Obviously Street Fighter 6 was an inevitability, but I really wasn't, hyped or anything. It's kind of just whatever, Street Fighter 6, cool, nice. And then when they started talking about the single player modes and all the new characters coming back, I was starting to get interested, right? For one, fighting games these days come out with nothing, right? Some fighting games, not all of them, but a lot of fighting games come out these days have no content. None yet. And They could be the best fighting game ever made mechanically, but I'm not. I want something else to do with the game outside of that, you know? Right? There has to be other modes, right? It reminds me of like when I bought KOF 15, which is a great fighting game mechanically, but it has no content. And I paid full price. I paid more than full price for it because I wanted it early. I ordered it, right? I had a special order for that game, and I paid more than I had to. And I don't even play it no more. And I just feel like I just wasted $70, you know, because I just wait till the game went on sale. Or DNF Duel. That game was $50, reduced price, right? Normally 5 games are 60, but this one's 50, right? Cool. But the game has nothing in it. It's taking forever for the companies behind the game to actually release anything. And I feel like I just wasted $50. I don't even touch the game anymore, right? Same goes for Soul Calibur, which had the cool character customization options. But I kind of just fell out that game because they just didn't do much more with it. I bought the DLC, for that game too. It's like, damn it. But still, my point is that, you know, a lot of fighting games these days just don't release good single player content. There's games like Grand Blue Fantasy that have a really good amount of single player content in the form of the RPG mode, and they constantly kept updating that mode with new character stuff when a new DLC characters came in. But the problem is the starting roster was very small at 11 characters, and that game, I still like the game, right? I still play it, but like if I were to recommend it to someone on the very first time it launched, I would say no. $60 is way too high for that game, right? Way too high. But Street Fighter 6 is coming out the gate with the Battle Hub where you can, you know, go around and meet people and also play older Capcom games on like little arcade boards, which is, I've always wanted something like that. I really wish more fighting games did something like that. That'd be sick, you know, just let you play the older versions of a game in a game. I think that's a really good idea. Only very, very few games have ever done that sort of thing, and it's the same Street Fighter has done it, right? And then there's also the World Tour mode, which is this giant semi-open world like RPG mode where you can run around, fight people, and customize your own playable character, hang out with the other Street Fighter characters, like get to know them better, text them, all that shit. It's insane. And you also get your standard, you know, actual other fighting game modes, like, you know, you get your arcade, which is like the fact that I'm happy that Street Fighter is kind of like launching with an arcade mode is insane. Because some fighting games just released with an arcade mode as an afterthought, right? They're just like, oh, we have to put an arcade mode in because, you know, we're fighting games, and they don't do dick with it, right? They just put they don't even put shit at the end of it, right? That's the worst part. Like, why bother even putting arcade mode if there's no arcade story or no ending CG, right? That's the same shit they do with Dragon Ball FighterZ. There's an arcade mode in there, but there's nothing in there. Even arcade mode's a glorified score attack. It's a glorified, like, it's like a survival mode. Essentially, it's a survival mode with an ending, and it doesn't have an arcade ending, which is like, why even bother putting an arcade mode with no ending in it? That pisses me off so much. Grand Blue kind of had that same shit too, but it's like one still image is an ending. There's like no dialogue between other characters or like that kind of shit. Like an actual arcade ending, right? Street Fighter 6 has that. I mean, Street Fighter 5 had it too, but you know, again, Street Fighter 5 came out like garbage. It didn't even have arcade at launch. It didn't even have arcade launch in the beginning. That's stupid. But anyway, Street Fighter 6 is not only coming out with arcade mode, but with the Battle Hub and the World Tour and a good amount of characters in the base roster. Dude, I'm already sold. Right? It's insane. Like, this is how you should make a fighting game, with actual shit in it. With make it like I ain't played it yet, and I'm already hyped. And again, even when Street Fighter 5 came out, I didn't think the game played badly. Right? The game got better as, you know, they started adding more characters and content to it, and more mechanics like second V trigger and stuff like that. But I mean, again, good gameplay can only get you so far, to be honest with me. Like, there has to be like actual other content to use that good gameplay in, you know. And with Street Fighter 6, they're adding just a bunch of shit that just makes me happy, you know. Like this right here is a contender for Fighting Game of the Year, and I haven't even played it yet. Okay, keep in mind, I haven't even played it yet. I'm already getting this game a 10 out of 10. I haven't even played this game yet, and I'm already hyped and sold. You got me. The moment I started seeing all the extra shit, I immediately pre-ordered. I had to, man. It's insane, and I'm hyped for it. I'm really happy that Capcom is looking back on Street Fighter V and thinking, "Damn, we effed up with that." And I'm like, I hope this is like Street Fighter 4, where like, you know, when Street Fighter 4 brought in a bunch of new fighting game, like, you know, fighting game developers, and like, man, we gotta make new fighting games and stuff like that. You know, brought, you know, that resurgence back. I really hope that Street Fighter 6 does the same, where they make these fighting game developers look at the game and go, damn, we really need to add more content to our games. You know, people like this shit. They're making so much money. That kind of stuff, you know? I want to see that. I really hope that happens. Like, Arc System Works is one of my favorite fighting game developers, if not my favorite. But their fighting game history as of late has been dog water. And I'm not talking about like mechanics and shit, like, you know, like the actual fighting, that's good. I mean, like, content. Guilty Gear Strive has nothing but characters. You have a good story mode, cool, but you don't get anything from that story mode. Like, you don't get like Xrd, where you, like, you know, you beat the story mode and you get some, you know, cash to spend in the other modes, and like other, like, you know, like gallery and shit. No, you don't have that. Like, Strive, good game, no content. Dragon Ball FighterZ, good game, has content. I just wish they updated more, and it doesn't have enough content. Grand Blue Fantasy has the content, has the roster, but it took too long to get there. DNF Duel, fun game, no content, right? Like, you know, let's see, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, fun game, no content. You know, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying here? It's like, you know, just copy Street Fighter. I don't give a shit if y'all don't even do it right. Just try. Give it a shot. At least give it an attempt. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. I just wanted to, you know, talk about Street Fighter 6 and just my hype for it. I'm really excited for it. I definitely can't wait till it comes out. It comes out on June 2nd. Well, at least that's what Amazon's telling people with the orders and stuff like that. But I won't get mine until way after that, because, yeah, I decided to pre-order at the last minute, and I didn't want to pay the extra shit for the shipping, so just waiting here. But I'm going to play other games while I'm waiting, you know, just to pass the time. But that's all I really want to talk about. I'm hyped for a game I never even played before. It's insane. I haven't felt this hype for a game in forever. It's insane.